Welcome. This year is the Xiaomi 14, and why this might be the best small or compact flagship phone of 2024 already in 2023, we will find out in this first impressions video of the Xiaomi 14. So let's get started. So this is the Xiaomi 14 currently released in China. It is available already in this year, but will probably come next year also to the global market, to Europe and the rest of the world. And this is a very compact 6.36-inch kind of smartphone with a flat display, which is quite interesting and nice. And it's very, very compact. It has this very glossy back here. You can either get it in this white, you have a black color, you have a green color, I think, and pinkish kind of color, various different colors available. It is very, very clean from the sides here and only has the volume button and the power button, or volume rocker and power button, as well as USB-C speakers and the hybrid SIM slot. Not hybrid SIM slot, it's actually a dual SIM slot. If you want to see the full unboxing, I did like a quick YouTube Shorts video about this 1-minute unboxing, so you can take a look at this as well, link in the description. Otherwise, I will put now a case on it because I really don't want to destroy this phone before you really start with it. And then I will talk a little bit about what makes it so special and why Xiaomi finally fixed all its flaws of the previous flagships. So I have a case now on it, and as you can see here, it is looking very, very nice. We have now a TPU, still a soft TPU case, but in black, matte black actually, that feels very, very grippy. I would not say no to a white version of this one, but I can understand why it's black, because it's not like getting so dirty then. What is quite interesting is that the hand feeling is very nice already without this case, and it's not very slippery, which is like something that you usually have with glossy bags. But even the matte bags finishes of the last couple smartphones are very slippery. So this one here, together with the very grippy case, helps enormously when it comes to the grip. But let's not talk about the case so much. Let's talk about what they improved and why I think that this here, in my first impressions at least, is a very good smartphone from Xiaomi and might be a compact king. First of all, they kept a very fast and reliable fingerprint reader, so you don't have any issues with unlocking the device with your fingerprint. And the same goes for the face unlock, which is very reliable and fast, at least if you have outdoors visibility or sunlight, and you're not trying to unlock it in the dark where it needs a little bit of light, because it's just a 2D face scan that they're using here. And no, before anyone asks, it's not working for banking apps, it's just working for unlocking the device, which is quite reliable with this one here. What they really worked on is the USB port. First of all, we know it already from the Xiaomi 13 Ultra that I'm filming right now with, that we have USB 3 finally for Xiaomi devices, but now it is not only coming into the Ultra devices and super flagship devices, but also coming for the normal flagship devices like the Xiaomi 14 here, that has a USB Type-C 3.25 gigabits per second port. So finally we can copy data out of it, like videos for example, very, very quickly, which is quite good. And another good thing about this new USB port is that we have also now video out. So you have the possibility to just attach an USB Type-C to HDMI cable, and then you have the full desktop experience. Not really, but you have this phone experience on a big screen, which might help. I think at one point they will add a desktop experience there as well, but for now it's just a mirroring, which is working quite okay, I would say, but something that is still something they have to improve with Xiaomi 15, or maybe software update for this one here. But nevertheless, this is already very, very good. This compact design not only features a single stereo speaker, which is like a single mono speaker. Of course, this is a stereo speaker setup, even though we don't have any speaker here on top. It's using the earpiece, and it's quite interesting because it's getting quite loud. So they are not this typical 20% coming here out and and 80% coming here out. It is more like a 50-50 or at least 60-40 kind of setup here on the Xiaomi 14, which works quite nice and gives good enough of volume for this kind of smallish phone. The huge camera bump I thought might be a bit disturbing, but it's not. Then some people would say, they removed the infrared port. No, they didn't. They just put the infrared port here in this huge camera housing. If they have such a huge camera housing, they can also put it there to make it cleaner on the top, which is quite nice of an idea. And yeah, one would say, then you have to hold it like this to control your television. No, you can still hold it like this because it's infrared, and yeah, it will bounce back and it will work even if you hold it like normally. So this is working still, which is quite nice. So they kept their features why they are loved for a long time already in still. So if you need an infrared IR blaster, you have the possibility to use it still. But the cool thing is here that they put a real flagship camera system this time here. Last time, Xiaomi 13 series, we had like a downgraded version, basically like yeah, it was like a flagship, but a sub-flagship kind of camera setup on the normal smallish Xiaomi 13. This year around, they kept the same camera system that they also offered for the Pro version and put it here on the normal Xiaomi 14 version, which will give us a tremendous camera features there. And for the first time also, and I hoped actually they put it into the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, but they did not. But for the Xiaomi 14 series, the front-facing camera got an update, a huge update, because it's not only allowing us to record 4K, 30 frames per second, but also 4K and 60 frames per second and stabilized, yes! So we have now all the little bits and greases and gripes out. Just one big piece there, and this is the software. What about the software? Even there Xiaomi improved, because we have a brand new operating system here. Is it really a brand new operating system? They claim to work on it since a few years already, but this one here is really reminding me of MIUI in an improved new version with a few subtle tweaks on the outside at least.
Let's take a look at Xiaomi's Hyper OS. Let's go into settings and my device, and you can see we have Xiaomi Hyper OS version 1014 here. They redesigned the about screen a little bit. It's more utilitarian here than this more like comic that we had on MIUI. We have still the storage here, and for most parts the settings are the same as with MIUI, and you can see in the new settings pane that they restructured and reorganized a little bit there of the menu system. But in general we have still the same kind of settings, so wallpaper and personalization is reorganized a little bit there. We have a little bit of, my baby is also seeing this for the first time. We have a little bit of theme changes here, so we can see various different themes that we can download, which is quite nice. And we have the home screen settings, basically the same that we had before, just with the animation speed that we can set here from relaxed, which is the new default, to balanced or fast. So the typical speed tests, you can see here this nice animation. It's quite fast and smooth, and you can change the animation speed, which is quite nice. It's a bit faster and smoother than MIUI, but it's not on the same level as HarmonyOS, for example. I wouldn't say that in this case. Otherwise, what we will have to look at is the new control center that has been redesigned. Here on the top we only have status bar icons, so no edit or setting button. The setting button is now here, and if I press on the setting button, of course I go into the settings, and the edit button is down here, and it allows me to add not only system toggles but also third-party toggles. So the Android compatibility is still there. As you can see here, third parties like antenna ports, Send Clipboard, Mi Remote, and so on, AliExpress are still there, so this is working fine. I have my headphones connected currently, so you can see the headphones are connected there. This is the Super Hub feature, or I don't know, it looks like a HarmonyOS Super Device clone, where I can just disconnect the headphones if I want to, or I can go directly into the settings and go into noise cancellation, volume, and additional settings, which is quite nice of an idea there. And yeah, these are the possibilities that I have with the Xiaomi 14. And my dog is stealing the headphones, which is not, of course, not what I wanted. And anyway, I cannot disconnect them now because he stole them. Yeah, cool. Another animation thing that I want to show you, if I go into silent mode on, is this unobtrusive animations that you also get when you're charging stuff. For example, you get this on the top. Basically, let me show you again. On the top, this mode that you can still focus on whatever you're doing on your smartphone and are not like distracted by anything there, which is quite nice. Yeah, so these things are working fine. And MIUI in general, I think they see one earbud found, and it's showing that I found this. It's 100%. It's back into action. The other one is still missing. Not sure where my dog put the other one. Anyway, this is the possibility that you have with the MIUI animations and the speed of the operating system. Not MIUI, it's actually HyperOS. I'm calling it MIUI because it's just so close to MIUI. It's basically just a MIUI 15 or something like this. So a slightly updated version. All the other features that they put into the system, underneath the system, or next to the Android open source system that they're using are not very visible here yet, but probably will come in the future. So that's my short overview of HyperOS and my first impressions so far. I like it. I like this design. I like this new notification style, the unintrusive one, unintrusive. So it's not like disturbing you kind of style, which I really like. Reminds me a little bit of Palm's WebOS and Palm Pre's that had such a thing, also just from the bottom. So what do you think about HyperOS here running on the Xiaomi 14?
Managed quite a lot of improvements to cramp in. And before I start talking about the software here, which is like, of course, only a first impression, let's check out the cameras. So what you can see here right now is somehow of making a historical landmark, I would say, because we have one of the first and only device that I have here in my hand right now, the Xiaomi 14, that allows front-facing recording in 4K, yippee-yay, 4K 30 frames, but also 60 frames per second, which is quite nice. And this is now 4K 30 because I'm working with a 4K 30 timeline. And if you put in the 60 frames per second, it will look a little bit weird. So I will do, of course, a 4K 60 frames per second video, maybe a comparison with the Mate 60 Pro and so on, later on in several other videos for sure. You know my camera samples and video tours that I do, so no issues there. But this is now 4K 30, and yeah, what can I complain about this one? It has good HDR, as you can see here. It is like a little bit overblown still, but it's way better than what we had before, where it was like flickering sometimes when it's like trying to expose on my face and at the same time keeping the back somehow exposed as well. So this is one of the things that you see as a huge improvement. If I have to nitpick a little bit, maybe the only wish that I would have for this kind of camera system would be that it will support autofocus. So if I hold my Xiaomi 13 Ultra here in the lens, you can see it is not focusing on it because it doesn't have autofocus here on this camera system, on the front camera. That is not a major bummer because, like I said, it's a landmark. It's a historical kind of thing for Xiaomi. The first front-facing camera that allows 4K. At least I don't remember any Xiaomi phone that had a front-facing camera. Maybe in those times where there were like lots and lots of selfie cams and everyone was improving on selfie cams, they had at 1.1. But since then, never again. So what do you think about this front-facing video? And of course, sadly, another nitpick usually is the possibility to switch to the back camera. It's like you only meant for Samsung flagship phones and mid-range phones from Huawei. and honor, sadly for some reason. So not sure why they don't have like a flip button here so I can switch to the back camera. So I have to stop right now and then show you the back cameras as well. So these are now the back cameras, the main back camera here, which is a large sensor, 101.3 inch size sensor. It's the new Light Hunter 900 sensor, which I hope they change the name of it because it sounds a bit weird, Light Hunter sensor. Anyway, it's a new sensor. It's apparently a co-engineered sensor by Xiaomi and OmniVision. It's an OV50H kind of sensor there that has this dual layer kind of thing that Sony is also doing, dual layer stacked sensor. Which allows more light intake, which is quite interesting because the pixels are moved. Just look at the Sony video that I did that explains it quite nicely. So what you can see here is this footage now 4K 30, and stabilization should look nice, colors should look nice. The background blur is maybe not so blurry as on the 1-inch type sensor, but you really have to zoom in to see it. Can you compare it with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra that I recorded earlier with? Probably you won't see much of a difference here, besides maybe a different location, that's all. And of course we have the possibility to just switch to the ultra wide angle while recording 4K 30. We still don't have a button for this, but we have a nice slider that we can use, and Xiaomi is doing quite good with the sliders already with the previous versions. So they're like, because the sensors are on a slightly different position when you zoom out or zoom in, they just like adapt to it so that the jump is not so obvious. Like it's not like a jump, I'm zooming and boom. It's just like when you get very, very close to objects or subjects, then you will notice this jump, especially when it's going into the macro lens or something like this. But otherwise, you don't notice that so much. So what do you think about the ultra wide angle here? We have a triple 50 megapixel sensor setup, which is quite interesting because it reminds me a lot of the basically same sensor setup that we have on the Xiaomi 13 Pro. So the last year's super flagship device. Actually, there was ultra flagship device as well there, but the last year's Pro device setup we have now here on this camera system, which is quite nice. So we have this ultra wide angle 50 megapixel sensor here, and we have also a 3.2 times zooming sensor. And yeah, my favorite bridge is coming up there. So let's go a bit quicker. Let's see how good stabilization is here at 4K 30, because I also heard and saw that Xiaomi improved the stabilization tremendously on the Xiaomi 14 series with, yeah, especially with the ultra wide angle, it should be quite good. We have uneven ground here. You just look at the ground there. See it? Uneven ground a little bit. So how good is stabilization here on the Xiaomi 14? And then of course we zoom in on my favorite bridge there with this little bit of sunshine still going on there in this like autumn kind of weather that we have here. This is 0.6 time magnification now. The ultra wide angle, I can go and zoom into one time lens, switch lenses, and then I'm able to zoom in even further. You can see some crows, there's the crows, seagulls flying around here. Quite interesting. Let's zoom on them maybe, because we have 3.2 times zoom. Let's switch lenses already, and yeah, I can zoom in. This is now 10 times, and beyond 10 times I can go to 15 times. This is now 15 times. You can see the seagulls sitting there. I think it's seagulls. Yeah, in the background you can see my favorite bridge there as well. Colors look pretty nice. Stabilization is working fine as well. So what do you think about this video footage here on the Xiaomi 14? I'm not sure if this is new. We have now movie mode. At least I never saw it on the camera carousel before. Maybe it was hiding under extras on the Xiaomi 13 series. But here on the Xiaomi 14, it's on the carousel mode. You don't have any option to switch anything there. So I'm not even sure what kind of resolution it's using, but it's using widescreen 2.39 by something. It's using the widescreen, not 21 by 9, but something very, very close to this one. And it also is switching, I think, to 24 frames per second to make it a little bit more cinematic looking. Is it worthy of using? What do you think about this one here? I think before they also had like some kind of movie mode, but it was just like adding like the black bars on top and bottom just to look like movie-like. But this, I think, is a bit different. What do you think about this movie mode here on the Xiaomi 14? I wanted to showcase the Xiaomi 14 and their good improvements all over the place, and then we have this really bad audio. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I was using my usually external microphone system, Holyland microphone system that I usually use, but for some reason it has like some wind noise reduction and bad quality all over the place. I'm now using the internal mics. Are they any better here on the Xiaomi 14? Maybe hear some cars passing by or some people walking by, but maybe this has a better microphone system than the external microphone. This is something, Xiaomi, come on, you have to fix this. Really disappointing there, because I already had this with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra there, where they had it before, where it was like turned off by default, the wind filter, and it sounded nice, and then for some reason, even if you have it turned off, it is still turned on when you have an external mic plugged in, so it sounds bad. So what do you think about the audio quality here, Xiaomi 14? So to summarize my first experience with the Xiaomi 14, it's a very pleasant to use compact flagship phone. They worked on so many things, especially the front-facing camera that finally has 4K recording, and they went all out with 4K 60 frames per second, which is also very cool. Then we have a flagship camera bump on the back, not because it's so huge, but because we have a triple 50 megapixel setup that we had basically almost the same last time with the 13 Pro version here. So we have a Pro camera flagship kind of setup here. And I'm really looking forward to the 14 Pro from Xiaomi that basically has the same camera setup, but with the main camera sensor having a variable aperture that helps tremendously with light intake in dark conditions, in low light situations. Otherwise, stereo speakers which sound quite nice for sure. Wireless charging 50 watts. 90-watt wired charging. I think this is really the coming flagship device that needs to be beaten. What are your first impressions of the Xiaomi 14? Write it down in the comments. If you have some questions, I will gladly test things out here on this device. This is a Chinese device. Nevertheless, we have DRM White Wine Level 1 for those people who are interested in this. So Netflix should work in HD. Sadly, I don't get any connection with the Netflix servers yet, so there might be some issues there, but Amazon Prime and others are working quite nicely. And we have also safety net passed, so there's no issues with banking apps or any Google Wallet payment options there. So if you have some other questions, write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video about the Xiaomi 14. I will do, of course, comparisons with the Xiaomi 13 Pro that I still have, and later on when the 14 Pro will arrive, I will also compare the 14, the compact flagship, with the Pro version. That's it. Until the next time. Bye.